In August 1999, inside the gray walls of an upstate New York prison, one of America's most prolific serial killers made a stunning announcement. Joel Rifkin, the man who strangled 17 women, said he wanted to open a shelter for prostitutes, a place of healing, safety, and redemption, built by the same hands that once delivered death. But his idea wasn't as noble as it sounded. Inside his plan was a chilling twist, something so dark, even seasoned detectives recoiled in disgust. In this story, we uncover the disturbing mind of Joel Rifkin, how a killer became the self-proclaimed savior of the same women he destroyed, and why his so-called redemption revealed more about his monstrous psychology than anyone expected. To understand Joel Rifkin's prison plan, we have to go back to the quiet suburbs of East Meadow, Long Island. He was born in 1959, adopted by a middle-class family, and raised in what many would call an ordinary American home. But behind that facade was a boy drowning in loneliness, bullied, socially awkward, and consumed by violent fantasies. By the late 1980s, those fantasies turned into obsession. Rifkin began frequenting New York City's red light districts, not for pleasure, but for power. The women he met were vulnerable, addicted, homeless, and forgotten. To Joel, they were easy targets. Between 1989 and 1993, he strangled 17 women, prostitutes whose lives, to him, were disposable. He dismembered their bodies, stuffed them into oil drums, suitcases, even left one in his mother's car. And for years, no one connected the dots. He might have kept killing until a simple traffic stop in 1993 changed everything. When police pulled him over for a missing license plate, the stench from the back of his truck told them everything they needed to know. Inside lay the decomposing body of Tiffany Bresciani, his 17th and final victim. Rifkin was arrested on the spot. Behind bars, Joel Rifkin didn't fade into silence. Instead, he started writing. Pages and pages of notes, ideas, reflections. To some, it seemed like the ramblings of a lonely prisoner. But in August 1999, those writings became something more, a plan. He called it A Place for Angels. The proposal outlined a rehabilitation center for sex workers, a shelter offering drug treatment, vocational training, medical care, and therapy. It sounded, on the surface, like a genuine act of remorse. A way, as Rifkin put it, to pay his debt. He sent the plan to local officials, journalists, and even prosecutors. And surprisingly, some didn't dismiss it outright. Fred Klein, one of the prosecutors who had helped put Rifkin away, said the idea, at least on paper, had merit. But as they read deeper into Rifkin's blueprint, something felt wrong. Buried in the details of Rifkin's proposal was a single paragraph that froze readers in disbelief. He wanted a special room in the shelter, a motivation room, he called it. Inside, he envisioned a gallery lined with photographs of prostitutes who had been murdered on the job. A chilling, warning exhibit, he said, to scare residents straight. When questioned about it later, Rifkin didn't flinch. "These girls think, I can't be touched," he said. Well, 17 girls thought so, and now they're dead. The number wasn't random. It was his number. The 17 women he murdered. It was as if Rifkin couldn't separate his so-called redemption from his own crimes. Or perhaps he didn't want to. The motivation room wasn't about healing. It was about power, about making sure those women never forgot who held it. Psychologists later suggested the plan revealed a narcissistic fantasy, an attempt to rewrite his legacy. In his mind, he wasn't just a killer anymore. He was the man who understood them best, the only one who could save them. That delusion of control, even after death, is what makes the plan so chilling. Why did Joel Rifkin really do it? Was it guilt, manipulation, or the ultimate performance of control? Inside prison, Rifkin lived a quiet, compliant life. He read books, painted, and rarely spoke about his crimes. But when he spoke of the shelter, his words carried the same detached calmness he once used to describe murder. To him, it wasn't contradiction, it was logic. He once told interviewers, "If I can prevent one girl from dying, then maybe it's worth something." But the world wasn't buying it. Victims' families called it grotesque. Advocates said it was like asking a wolf to design a sheep's pen. And the idea of displaying murdered women's photos, some believed to be his own victims, turned whatever moral value the plan had into horror. Even prison officials dismissed the project outright. it would never leave paper. Still, the mystery lingers. Did Rifkin believe in his cause? Or was this one last power play from a man who enjoyed controlling women's lives, and even their memory? In one interview, Rifkin leaned back and smiled faintly when asked if he regretted what he'd done. He said, "Everyone wants a reason. Maybe there isn't one." That's the essence of Joel Rifkin, the calm storm, the emptiness behind his eyes. And that's what makes his prison proposal so terrifying. Not that he wanted forgiveness, but that he thought he deserved to give it. To him, the shelter wasn't a memorial, it was proof that his story still mattered. Even after taking 17 lives, he found a way to center himself in the narrative of saving them. Joel Rifkin remains incarcerated in Clinton Correctional Facility, serving 203 years to life. His prostitution shelter plan never came to life, but the idea still echoes as one of the strangest moments in American criminal history. A killer who wanted to redeem his crimes by saving others, while reminding them who held the power to destroy. It's a haunting reflection of the human need for control, even from behind bars, and how the line between guilt and ego can blur in the darkest minds. Evil doesn't always end when the killing stops. Sometimes, it just changes form. What do you think? Was Joel Rifkin seeking redemption, or was this just another extension of his control? If you found this case as chilling and unsettling as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because we're just getting started on uncovering the darkest corners of the human mind. Tell me in the comments, do you think Joel Rifkin truly wanted redemption? Or was this just another way for him to keep control, even from behind bars?